All right, on today's show, I welcome on a very special guest. He is a Rhode Island native and the guard for George Mason, Tyler Kolek. Tyler, how are you today?
Good. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. How you doing during all these COVID times?
Trying to get through. All this uncertainty, you never know.
Yeah, it's tough. How's school with COVID? Are you guys online or what's up?
Yeah, so we just had a pretty long break in the semester, and we're starting back up now tomorrow, actually, Monday. All my classes are actually online, so can't really see anybody.
Yeah, that's tough, but tough for your freshman year of college too, when you have to do everything online. Don't really get to, you know, go to classes, meet some people and stuff like that outside of like basketball and everything.
Yeah, there's no really the college experience is not there this year for sure, but you know, there's always next year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got 3 more years to go. Um, so Ty, I want to jump into it about your basketball career. When did you start to develop your love for the game?
Well, I mean, when I was really young, my dad actually played. So I'd always be at his men's leagues games and just playing with him. He'd always take me to the YMCA when my mom was working. We'd go there at night with me and my brother, play 2-on-2, 3-on-3, stuff like that. So I mean, definitely from a young age, I developed a love for it.
That's awesome. And was there like a player that you grew up idolizing, or was it your dad? Who was it that you really wanted to like be like when you were growing up?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I really wanted to be like anybody, but I mean, just watching my dad and seeing him play was really cool. I mean, obviously didn't see him in his prime and everything like that, but I mean, he still shooting to this day. I mean, he'd like to say that he could beat me in a shooting contest, but I mean, it's kind of goes my way now, not his.
Yeah, yeah. You have a brother too that plays as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, he goes to Franklin Pierce University. He's a junior.
That's awesome. So what's it like when do you guys have some good competitions against each other?
Yeah, I mean, early on when we were younger, it was a lot of battles. I mean, we weren't really allowed to play one on one because it would end in a fist fight every time. Like, so I mean, he would beat me. I mean, he's 2 years older than me, so but I mean, he would just back me down, and then I just start following him. It would not end well. My dad would always have to break it up, but I mean, it's good. It was good when we play like 2-on-2 and stuff like that. Me and him against other people. I mean, it's always been my backcourt partner.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Did you guys ever have like? Do you guys ever still play like around if you get together around for the holidays? You guys still play horse or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, so not this summer since COVID, but actually, me, my dad, and my brother are in this 4-on-4 league with my other friend Jermaine. It's just in like this kind of three-fourths quarter court, but there's two baskets and it's outside in this guy's backyard. So it's a
That's
pretty
awesome.
good league. Yeah,
Awesome. Do you dominate? I'm assuming. Do you guys do well?
back to back champions.
All right, all right. That's awesome. And then when growing up, when did you kind of realize that you were kind of separating yourself from the competition in basketball?
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I would always play up. Well, I played with the Rhode Island Hawks for AU. I mean, the first memory that I have of basketball was probably third grade when I was playing CYO for St. Joan of Arc, which is just church league. And I remember we went to the New England finals. And I was in third grade playing up with the fifth and sixth grade.
Wow.
So I mean, that was actually my birthday, right? The game day. So that's why I remember it. But I mean, that was definitely. I mean, playing with older guys really helped me a lot. So from a young age, just playing with them, that just definitely helped me.
That's awesome. How did you end up at St. George's?
So I was looking to transfer after my sophomore year a little bit when I was at Cumberland. Um, and then, so I was looking at a few places, Milton Academy that year particularly. But then I didn't really want to leave yet. So, because I mean, I wasn't really, I mean, I was decent. We just won the state championship my sophomore year with my brother.
Wow.
Um, but I mean, I wasn't really to the level where I was my junior year because I mean, I just turned it up a notch, training and everything like that summer. So after my junior year, I looked at a few schools again, Milton Academy, Lawrence Academy, St. Andrews. Obviously, my brother went there, but St. George's just really stood out to me. I mean, Coach Preen is a great guy. He helped me with everything with school, with getting recruited, getting better. I mean, St. George was just a great opportunity. So definitely jumped on it.
That's awesome. And what's it like to go to like a school that's like in Newport on like on the water, or like in Portsmouth and that on that water and that great scenery? It's like this looks like a beautiful campus.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking down the campus, there's a main street, and to your right you just see the water. So I mean that's pretty cool, but in the winter it's a little dead, a little groggy.
Yeah, it's got to be a little colder on the winter. So when you were at St. George's, is there a game that really sticks out to you the most?
The game, no, I mean my first year there, I think we were in the ISL, which is like the league so we were in Class B, but then there's like a league within that called the ISL. We were like 7th or something in the ISL. We were just still trying to gel, just get used to each other. I mean, we had a lot of new guys on the team, but the next year, I mean, the game that stood out, we actually my senior night, we needed to win that game to win the ISL or be co-champs with the Brooks School, who we had actually lost to, but they lost to somebody else. So we had both had one loss. So I mean that game was pretty special because I mean 2 years before that they only had I think four or five wins. So I mean it was just special for Coach Pina and all the guys just to turn it around like that.
That's awesome. That's great. Is that the picture? I don't know if you've been to the website. Is that the picture where you guys are all jumping around in the locker room celebrating?
No, that's actually so we had this thing called Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
So it's like so normally our games at prep school, the games are either on a Wednesday or a Saturday, and they're at like 3:30 or 4:30. So I mean, all the other students, you have an activity that you have to do. So like an afternoon activity after classes. So like they would either be on like a JV team or playing a different sport or doing like photography or something. You just had to do something. You couldn't just be like sitting around. So not many fans would be able to get to our games regularly.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly just parents. But so Friday Night Lights was like a whole event. We did with every sport, like football in the fall. We did a hockey event too. It was like, so the game's at 7:00 at night, and the whole school goes to it, like standing room only in the gym. So it was pretty cool. It was a double overtime or maybe overtime game that we won against a big opponent. So we were just all happy after that.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And then in the ISL, like in that league, you were named Player of the Year twice. What's that honor like?
I mean, there's been some great players. Obviously, Cormac Ryan, who's at Notre Dame. Tyler Aronson won that one year. Azar Swain, who was at Yale. Jermaine Samuels, who was at Villanova. I mean, just great players. I was just lucky to get it. Just all my coach helping me out and everything like that. But actually, a lot of guys that have won it have been Middlesex Magic members, my AU team. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. And what's it like? What was it like? This is actually my next question. What's it like to be part of the Middlesex Magic? What was it like to be part of that AU program?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. So I played. I moved over there probably 9th grade. Played that year, and then played that summer, 9th grade. And then I actually couldn't play the summer. I actually played the spring. I had surgery on my knee going into 10th grade in that summer. So I couldn't play. And then the next year, couldn't play that fall. Came back in the spring, sophomore year AU. I mean, that's when everything really ramps up from there. Like being so 9th grade, 8th grade, stuff doesn't really matter in AU. I mean, obviously you want to play and you want to get better, but I mean, nobody's coming to see your games or anything like that. But 10th grade is really when, I mean, some of the coaches start reaching out. They can start reaching out. So that was a great experience.
That's awesome. And what was your recruiting process like? How did you decide to go to George Mason? If you can answer that question. I don't know if you can.
No, definitely. I mean, so my first offer was Bryant University. It was probably April of my junior year at Cumberland. And then, I mean, usually once you get one offer, everything starts to snowball. So my junior year, I knew I was reclassing after that year. So I still played 17s, even though I could have played 16s because I was reclassing. So, I mean, it got pretty crazy because everybody, he's playing up. But it was really, really my age group all along. But once I got that first one, then a few more came in. And then it really started to pick up, not so much that summer, but once I got to St. George's, the coaches were already obviously had an eye on me, but once I got to St. George's, we were doing workouts like at lunch after school, and then we'd have like 3 or 4 coaches every day in the gym, like different coaches, and they just started picking up from there.
That's awesome.
And
And how did you decide on George Mason?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough decision. I came down 5 schools. I actually narrowed it down to that were really recruiting me the most: George Mason, Northeastern, Holy Cross, Vermont, and Elon. So those schools were really recruiting me hard. I took my my first official visit to Elon. I really loved it there. The coaches there, Coach Shragi and Coach Holmes, the head coach and the associate coach, they're really great guys. And then I took my second official visit to George Mason. And I mean, it just felt right being here. And then after that, I took like a middle of the week visit to Northeastern. It was just like one overnight. We went out to dinner. Those guys are great too. Coach Cohen over there. But I mean, I just felt like this was home at George Mason, and I made a great connection with Coach Paulson and all the assistant coaches. And my AU coach, Mike Crotty, he actually played for Coach Paulson at Williams University. So, I mean, that was a good connection.
That's awesome. Is there something with the name George is in the school that you attend because you went to St. George and George Mason? Is that?
I didn't actually realize that till afterwards. After I committed, then somebody had said that to me.
That's pretty funny. Now, what's it like when you get to the Division I level? What's the speed like? What's the adjustments that you have to make to, need to work your way into the starting lineup?
I mean, it's definitely adjustments with the whole body all the way around, from getting stronger to getting faster and quicker, everything like that. I mean, when I first came in, I was obviously lifting all this summer, through everything, trying to be ready. But I mean, just the physicality, you don't really know until you get there. Like these dudes, I mean, they've been in the weight room 4 or 5 years. Some of them are 24, 23 years old, grown men. So, I mean, you never really know what you're getting yourself into. But, I mean, once I got here, there was definitely an adjusting period through the preseason and everything like that. Because first off, we could only start with like individual workouts because of our quarantine. So we couldn't be with the other guys just yet. And then after that, we got into group workouts. And then after the group workouts, whole team workouts. So once we get to the whole team workouts and practices, basically, it was good. I mean, I got to see what my teammates were doing. They got to see what I was doing. So I built a good rapport with them and just went from there.
That's awesome. And now, what's it been like the most difficult thing with COVID in your first year playing college basketball? What's it all been like just playing college ball just with COVID going on, and how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes a toll on your mental health. I mean, all I do, we have workouts. We actually had an off day today, so I just worked out earlier this morning. Now I'm back in my room. We can't really see. We don't go around the other students or anything like that because that's pretty high risk to catch the virus. But I mean, you basically just isolating yourself. So that's pretty hard. But the basketball aspect, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Our game on Wednesday is up in the air against George Washington because they had tested positive. So we don't know if we're going to play them, somebody else. And then back earlier in the season, we had somebody test positive, and we were on shutdown for a little while. So that was definitely hard to deal with. But,
yeah, that's tough. I mean, what's it like? Like you had mentioned, like a team. I don't know if you guys have faced this yet, but you had mentioned with George Washington. What's it like if a team tests positive for COVID, you got to play them, and then you switch and you have to play another team? What's the adjustment there? Like, how do you guys prepare for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we actually had that happen. We were supposed to play Northeastern first game of the year, and then the day we got there, or the day we were about to go there, like leaving, they tested positive, and another team. So it was a bubble type tournament. So we were going to Washington, D.C. to be in this little bubble. We would get tested when we got there. It was us, Howard, Belmont, and supposed to be Northeastern. But then we actually ended up playing Queens College Division II. So they just jumped in. So, I mean, that was definitely hard because we had never played them, didn't know who their guys were, who their personnel was. So, I mean, you just got to be ready for anything. Like, it's COVID times, as my coach says. So you just got to stay ready and be vigilant.
That's very true. Now, what's it like? Come home and play at URI, play against URI. What's that like? I mean, in an unusual setting, unfortunately. But what's that like just to be, come back to Rhode Island and play a game and against like a school that's right in your backyard?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely special. I mean, too bad there weren't any fans there, but my dad would have loved to have been there. But my grandparents too, they actually haven't seen the game yet, just on TV. But no, I mean, it was special. I mean, we stayed actually in the Newport area, so that's probably five minutes from St. George's. So I mean, it was special. This summer I was always down in Newport, everything like that. So just going over the bridge, seeing everything like that, just being back home, getting a sense of normalcy was definitely good. But I mean, the game itself didn't really go as planned as we wanted to. We were up 10 in the first half, but we just couldn't sustain it. So
yeah, it's tough. Yeah, hopefully next year I'll definitely be at the game next year when you guys play a URI if we're allowed. Hopefully if everything is back to normal, but definitely be at a URI game. I'll probably might be the only one wearing a George Mason shirt, so I might get heckled. But hey, it's
get my family section when they'll all be wearing George Mason.
Yeah, I'll go hang out with them. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to come see you play when you're at URI. It'd be a lot of fun. I'll definitely get my George Mason gear for sure because I'm a big fan of yours now. Obviously for being on the show and everything, and being a Rhode Island guy, you got to root for the Rhode Island guys, right?
Sure, it's a little small community we got.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true. All right, so I just want to ask you some questions just outside of basketball for people to get to know you. Do you have a favorite NBA team?
Favorite NBA team? Yeah, the Celtics. But I mean, I don't really the Celtics are playing tonight. I don't really look at that. I just watch whoever's on national TV. So, but definitely the Celtics.
Do you have like a favorite player?
Yeah, Damian Lillard. I really like his game.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite too as well. What's your Super Bowl prediction?
Super Bowl prediction. I mean, I'm hoping Tom Brady gets there. I mean, I was definitely a Patriots fan before, but I feel like I'm more of a Tom Brady fan than anything else. So I'm hoping him and the Bucs can get there. And I mean, it'd be a good story. One of my buddies is a Bills fan. They haven't done anything in a while, but it'd be a good story if it was Brady versus the Bills again. But I don't know. I think Kansas City's gonna get there. Patrick Mahomes is playing this week, so.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. He's so tough, man. He's such a great quarterback. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard to stop that offense with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, all those guys.
Yeah, they have such good weapons, and I don't know. I think Brady might make it too because you just never doubt Tom Brady. That's what I've learned all the time. This whole time. Like
Aaron Rodgers would probably be the MVP, but I mean, the great Packers are playing at a high level right now, but I think the Bucs will win.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens games today. So hopefully we'll be rooting for Tom to maybe we can make it to another Super Bowl.
For sure.
Is there a pregame ritual that you have before every game?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say pregame ritual. I would say more just like what I do to get ready. I mean, I don't have like set, I have to do this. It's more like so we have shoot around earlier in the day before the games. And then I always try and get a workout in before the actual game. I did that back at St. George's with my assistant coach, CJ Ward. He would work us out, or me, and then maybe one other guy would work out before the games, just getting ready. I mean, I always like to be warmed up. I mean, get a good feel for the ball, everything like that. So
nice. And now, what's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball?
Outside of basketball, there's not much of that. I mean, probably. So when I'm in my room, I mean, I probably just play Fortnite most of the time.
Do you really?
If I'm not working out, it's just like I'll go. We have practice early in the morning, then I'll come back, hang out for a little bit, play some Fortnite, go back to the gym after that. It's not really much to do. So,
who does any of the other guys on the team play Fortnite?
Yeah, I play with a few of the other guys on the team, and then some of my buddies.
Who's the best player? Are you the best player out of all of them?
Best player that I play with? There's one of the other dudes I haven't played with, Jordan Miller. He plays on the keyboard. they said he's tough, but I haven't seen him play.
Yeah.
So I mean, the best player that I play with probably out of the four guys that I play with on the team.
All right. All right. Well, that's interesting. Well, Tyler, that's all I have for you today. Any last things or anything you have to say or questions for me or anything before we sign off?
No, I just appreciate you having me. It was really fun being on.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know we're college basketball going on, school going on. I appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. It's awesome just to hear from a local guy and everything that you're doing. It's great. Keep up the great work, man. We're all rooting for you. I know I'm a big fan. Like I had mentioned before, definitely gonna get my George Mason gear, and definitely can catch up with you, or I give him some George Mason stuff.
For sure. I appreciate it.
I had no problem.